Welcome to the Big Biz Show. You want fast-talking, hard-hitting discussions on business and finance? Maybe with a barroom slant and some really salty peanuts? We're not counting calories. We're counting cash. Before we get to the man with the financial plan, meet the money team. Costa, Mary, and Greg. Now Captain Finance himself, Sully.
That's right. For the Loft 100 studios here in sunny Southern California. So glad to be, you are along for this right here on the Big Biz Show, otherwise known in some parts as the Large Financial Program. Costa Murder Godwin.
That's Mike's alternate YouTube show.
That's right. That's right.
It's like
all the guests.
We used to do a thing called Pick My Shorts, where I would do stock picks on Sunday and tweet them out, or we did Pick My Shorts, and that was the stocks I was going to bet against, and then Monday Russ would have I put mine out 5 minutes after Sully puts his out. Let's say hi to the day trader trio there, James East. Jordan, Trace, Sojourn, Hodgins. Great to have you guys along today. On average, how much do you think you would need to earn annually to feel financially secure, comfortable, sort of call yourself rich?
Depends on where you live in the country, probably.
Here?
Well, here.
Oh, here, it's easily north of $100,000 a year.
No,
Easily. I'd say north of 150.
Okay.
200.
The Punctrepreneur here, we like to call him Crash. Howie Font is from New York City. Howie has some astonishing news for you regarding what it would take to feel rich. On average, Americans believe they would have to earn how much, Howie, to feel financially secure and comfortable in this country?
Well, maybe I'm wrong, but it's an astounding, at least astounding to me, $186,000 on average throughout America.
Now, does that sound high to you, or does it sound low to you?
It sounds very high to me. I mean, when you're talking about the median salary in this country, it's $59,000.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I think for a family of four, it's something like 68 or something like that average. And I think in California it's closer to 70. But to feel rich and financially free, how much money do you have to have in the bank? No, wait.
That was wicked.
How much for you to feel not like I'm going to be living on the Long Island Sound,
Sure,
or living in Newport Harbor in California? How much? But say financially secure, living the life you want to live, not just barely making it in the trailer park, but at the same time, what do you think that number is to have in the bank?
I don't know. I mean, it's a lot. I would think 200,000 in California.
No, I'm not talking per year. In the bank.
Oh, in the bank.
In the bank. Oh. In the bank. In your retirement account. How much you have to have
God.
to feel like
at least $500,000.
$500,000 bucks. $500,000?
Yeah.
Howie, what's that number?
$520,000.
Boom.
Thank God.
Now that's up. That's up about 8% from last year, right? Last year was about 475, 480, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. And we're getting these numbers. They just came out earlier in the week from bankrate.com. Great website, great info. They do this survey annually. And I just can't believe, I wanted to talk about it with you all because I think it's really high, especially when you look at the reality. I think people maybe spend too much and they think that if I had $100,000 extra in salary, then I would start to save.
But didn't you tell me over the weekend, we were talking over the weekend, or maybe it was early in the week, you said something like, people have average retirement has less than what, $10,000 in it for most of the, what was that number? Do you remember having that conversation with me?
Oh, no, I completely remember. There is a large portion, I think it's 27% have less than 10.
Wow.
And
but how old are they? I mean, are they 6 years old? Because that's pretty good if you're in first grade.
No. They're my
Fair
age.
enough. Fair enough. This data was looking at 20 to 40-year-olds. So it is.
So look at. Let's face it. If you are 40 years old watching this program and you're just starting out, okay, you probably are not going to retire until you're 70. You got 30 years. That's actually a time horizon that you could live with if you force yourself to put some dough away.
Yeah, you got to be.
Or Mike, dress scantily and find yourself a hot woman that has a lot of dough.
Which I've done.
I know.
So thank God.
Big Biz Show continues. Howie, stand by. I want to talk to you some more.
Great.
Coming to you live from the Loft 100 studios in sunny Southern California. It's hot here. It's hot a lot of places, but we appreciate you being along for the ride. Mike Costa, Maribert Godwin, Greg Todorov, and that laugh you heard mocking me, our main man, Sully. 125 million TV homes strong, BizTV network, American Forces Radio Network. Of course, Bloomberg Financiero, hola, lave sus manos to the 15 million viewers we have there. Of course, we head into Bloomberg EU at the end of the month, which I like to call Bloomberg Stinky EU. How about some ice? Yeah. Yep.
I like my drinks warm and my showers cold, Mike.
Exactly.
So I'm heading to Germany. Great to have you along. Dr. Keith Cantor is our guest today. He is in the studio. He is the president of Rancho Santa Fe Health, Wellness, and Coaching Corporation. Of course, you may be watching us in New York City. You may be listening to us on American Forces somewhere abroad, or watching us down in Mexico with the subtitles that go from there to there. He is a certified child, teen, adult, family life coach, as well as a, what kind of habits do you have to break? Is it the Funyuns habit? Is it the Bacon Bits after you dip your Funyuns in mayo?
It's so much. It's Funyuns, it's Bacon Bits, it's going to bed with a big giant burrito on my chest, the whole 9 yards.
Is the world your placemat?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Anything you want? Any habits you're trying to break?
Yes, I want to be a morning person. I'm not a morning
Are you not a morning person?
Oh my God, I hate the mornings.
I've called you at 6 in the morning for 7 years in a row.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I thought you were up.
hey, no.
You know, the problem is when you do a morning radio, you know this. When you do morning radio early,
Yeah.
you think everybody else is up, so you're making phone calls at 6, not realizing it ain't 8.
There's a lot of oops.
I'm not.
What, are you changing anything other than your?
No, you know what? About 10 years ago, I reached perfection. And
You're
freezing. I just
cruising.
kind of like hold it. I just come in here to hang out with you guys.
I would like.
Right, I like that.
I would like to do less. I've retired twice in my life, and that lasted. One time lasted for 6 months. The other one lasted for about 6 minutes. I cannot function unless I've got stuff that I'm either looking forward to, deals that I'm doing.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. So how many businesses do we have right now? We've got a studio business, we've got an on-air business, we've got a keynote speaking business, we got music business. We got that interpretive dance band I'm in. That Mike
Event
plays up.
business.
That's cool.
What business?
An event
An event business. And the thing is, but Mike's definition of success is the fact I don't have a key to this place. I don't know where the mail key is. And by the way, there was a time when the late great Rusty Nails used to say to me, "Dude, just be the product. You don't have to do everything." That's a habit like Drake. Talk about that, Keith, about with respect to what you see in clients. I mean, you sell a little bit of everything here.
Everybody's got flaws.
So we just quit now and just lay on the couch and start to do tissue?
No, that giving up it doesn't work. You want to get hungry to change, okay? And that's hard for people because you don't get motivated before you get determined. Okay, so you got to decide, okay, what do I want to change in my life first?
Yep.
And it's foreign. It's like the book Green Eggs and Ham. I'm not going to eat it. I'm not going to eat it. I'm that guy, I'm Sam I Am, who comes in and says, yeah, you know what, if you want to change, you can change because it's based on biology and psychology.
But is it based on just being aware of what you have to change? Because in my mind, if you're just aware of it, that's just awareness hell. Okay, I suck. I need to do that.
It's like knowing New Year's resolutions, what you want to do, but not doing them. No, you have to dedicate yourself to change. So there are things that you have to do. So for example, in what we do is we teach mindfulness to people, which is the first thing, which is getting people out of the past and out of the future and into now. So you can have a real realistic look at your life and where you are on all levels, because we look at physical, psychological, social. And once you get that and you want to change your morning habits, we use science to get you there.
So here's my question, though. To me, this seems like taking someone who is unemployed and getting them motivated to be employed. However, we've all been unemployed, and we all wanted to work. I don't think we wanted to work. We just wanted the money, right? I mean, honestly, do we really want to work, or do we just want the money? Do we really want to change, or do we just want to be different? Isn't that the big designation?
And if you love what you do, you love what you do. Like when you were talking about your businesses, you're charged up. You're like, I'm not going to retire because this gives me life. Okay, so if we invest
what the hell am I going to do? I mean,
exactly. Well, there's only so many, golf games you can play, or tennis or garden. We're getting older.
Have you discovered pickleball? Have you discovered pickleball?
I have. Got hurt already twice.
Pickleball can suck your life. I've been hurt twice. Pickleball can suck your life away.
I'm already hurt twice. All right. So, but you can get over invested in things if you don't have a lot of things going on in your life that make you happy. Okay, so work can be something. I wrote an article called Work Therapy. Work is so good for you. Reading is so good for you. It keeps you alive. It keeps you going. So don't quit, don't retire.
So when you're talking to CEOs, and let's stick to business here because I know that you coach children and teens and adults alike. But let's talk about businesses.
Sure.
We've interviewed on this program of 30 some odd years in radio and 15 or 16 in TV, probably every major CEO that most people have heard of, including Steve Jobs, Steve Forbes, Bill Gates, Larry Ellison, and every one of them that I've got to interview in person, including the rock stars of the world, like Ted Nugent or even guys like Steve Perry, there's this imposter syndrome that goes on. And I think it goes on in many of us. And that means is, God, I hope they don't find out I'm just a douche.
Right.
I'm just a normal guy. Like, it's okay.
No worries.
But the point is that do you find that also that people have to reconcile the fact of their own worth, the fact that they necessarily aren't better than somebody else, but they do have something that's bigger, better, faster, stronger, cheaper, more attractive, or something making them successful in business? Because I think that imposter syndrome can get in the way.
Lots of things get in the way, including that. And with businesses, the real key is unity. And I work with athletes and I work with teams as well. Okay, so getting your business people on the same page together, mindsets, very important. Okay, so I've worked with so many small local businesses and national ones where I get from the top bottom, everybody's on the same page. Everybody's got a vision that they're looking at, or I create vision balls and vision boards for people. But the whole corporation is following this. It's like a football team or like the Padres right now on fire, and they'll all say the same reason, because it's mental, okay? The reason why people change is it's your mental state, okay? 70% of what we do is based on mental performance, not physical. You can have all the ideas and all this, but if you don't have your mindset right, and you're not mentally in the right place, your company is going to lose a lot of money. And you can make a lot of money if you have right mindsets, correct ones that are research-based, and you're teaching that with your group. And it works well, and we have the data to show it. So it's awesome stuff. So yes, you got to believe in yourself, though, Sully. Yes.
Dr. Keith Cantor with us here at the bar, president of the Rancho Santa Fe Health, Wellness, and Coaching Corporation. Go to his website, drkeithperformance.com. A problem that I run into is I set a date. Hey, I'm going to start eating better. I'm going to start working out. I'm going to do this, going to do that.
Do you know what the rest of us call that?
Yeah.
Monday.
Right.
And is it better just to take one thing, do it, and then start to incorporate that other thing that you want to do it as well, or is it just attack everything at once?
It's a great idea, great sense. I always get people scheduled, okay? Time scheduling, time management, really important. Even breaking your day up into 3 things. Self-care, your work, and then social, relaxation. But you got to schedule it and do it. So we don't get motivated automatically. We have to do things to get motivated. When you go to the gym, I mean, when people go to the gym, and I fall to this too, because we change every 3 months habitually in our environment, just so you know. Our taste buds change, we change. So every environment you're in, every 3 months. You want to stop a habit? What I do with people is if you're eating Funyuns, for 3 months, you're not going to eat Funyuns. I find something else for you to eat.
Watch it, dog.
No. You eat something No. Wait. No, it works. No.
Funyuns is a food group.
No, but we find other things to kind of move you over. Okay, so you can change that. But in order to, when you say about making changes, you have to do it to change it.
A 3-month elite coaching program, what does that look like?
So basically, it's what we do is we take a picture of your life. You come in and we look at your life kind of on a pie scale, every part of your life, physical, psychological, social, educational, financial, self-esteem, where you are, interpersonal. We see where you are and we work with you to try to see where you want to go. We then use 14 different paradigms of science to get people there, from mindfulness to psychology to different types of therapies, from oxygen therapy to neurooptimal training to alpha M STEM.
Have you heard of vitamin T?
Vitamin T.
Oh, yes, tequila.
Vitamin T. Yes, ding, tequila. Vitamin T. Yes, that will wake you up too, or celebrate, the end of a nice, purposeful day, perhaps.
Right.
But with that said, we take a picture, we put you into a program, we start with mindfulness, emotional intelligence. So we start working right away to get you to notice that you're holding your breath 68% of the time. Most of us do. Okay? You're working, you're doing things. Most people work out incorrectly. Instead of pushing out, they breathe in and hold their breath, okay, and you starve your brain. So we teach people about basic how to care for themselves, nutritionally, physically, and with that, all of a sudden, those goals that they set, and we start pushing towards it and work on models to help them to get there, it works. And if they stick with it and do the 36 things we have people do every day, they get better.
Two last questions for you. Number one, can you help people watching us anywhere in the world if they contact you
Yes.
online? And what's the end result? What do you consider success in something like this?
Well, we look at things from 0 to 10, our scale, or 1 to 10. 10 would be, too much. 1's not so good. So we look to try to get people functioning.
He went 1 to 10.
Yeah.
So, but people, if I said to you, okay, on a 0 to 10 scale, right now, where would you rate your physical health for you? But you're perfect right now, so you'd be like,
I mean, what are you saying, Doc?
okay, you're off my scale. Forget it. Okay.
Greg's the 13.
But that's good. But so with that said, the model is to work with that person to get them to where they want to be. And usually the idea is that you're feeling better. Functional 5 is a 5, right? 7 8s. 8s are great. 10s? No, you're not going to maintain that. The idea is to stay with 8s, and 8s are great. And
Dr.
stay
Keith,
with it.
you got to come back.
like
You got to be on
Love
there
to.
with us.
Fascinating.
Fun stuff.
Mike?
Great show.
Yeah.
You want to do a little off camera?
Right.
We got a catch out front. You got to.
Can you go back to that pie you were talking about?
Yeah, no, this is-
Thanks, man. More BBS coming up. Stand by.
If you're watching wherever you're listening,
Or
some
arguing.
of you are listening on the American Forces Network. To all the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces for what you do, what you've done for us, we always salute you. Costa, Mary Burt Godwin, our executive producer Greg Todorov, and Sully.
Let me read you something.
Uh-oh.
We just have to our next guest, Corey Perlman, who's social media keynote speaker. I love this guy. I would like him to come to the studio,
Super
but
smart.
he barely takes our calls. So, but when he is going, let me see. Where did I find this stuff? Damn it! Oh, I know where it is. Look at this. So our song "Liars" that was released 2 weeks ago, something like that.
August 1st.
It's August 1st. This is what we have. We got Spotify streams, listener saves. Our streams per listener, 6,500. 2 is the average.
Woo-hoo!
Save rate. 78.4%.
That's huge.
10% is average.
That's huge.
Wow.
And the skip rate is huge.
Skip rate. You know what skip rate is?
No, I don't.
I don't like this song.
Yeah.
Skip. Oh.
Ours is 13%. Average is 20.
Which is great.
55% of streams are from collections. What does that mean?
I do not.
Playlists.
People making playlists.
So so this is from the label, and here's from the Star Maker machine. Without exaggeration or hype, the data is amazing. If we have this data when we hit 500,000 streams, get ready for an explosion.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
And I mean,
prepare yourselves.
Do you have like demographic, age, stuff like that? Or
yeah,
is it-
yeah, ladies 75 to 95 years old.
No, it's 35 to 44.
Is it really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
No kidding.
I was very surprised by that.
All right, very good.
Awesome. Love it.
So that's of course the new
Congratulations.
single by the band Sullivan. Don't know who they are. Don't know what they look like.
And they did not buy a vowel.
They did not.
Do you know why they
Only
did that?
one.
Do you know why
Except
they
for
did that?
you.
Do you know why they did that? Because they couldn't find social media that said SullivanMusic.com, Sullivan Instagram. So they started,
so they had to get
Yep.
they started
creative.
flicking letters.
That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly right. Corey Perlman is the social media keynote speaker of the day. He's one of our favorite guests, of course. He's owner of Impact Social Media. Corey, so if you were a band with a label deal and kind of a high profile that was going out there that was just scratching the surface after 2 weeks, what would your next step be? How do we get out there to the people? And it doesn't have to be music. It could be anything, right? It could be a new product. It could be Mike's new suntan oil called Band to Mike A. Or what was it? Sweetest Mikey's Tanning Secret. Remember that? So as far as brands go, Corey,
Yes.
it's almost like when someone does a podcast. Hey, listen to my show. Podcasts are like Wayne's World in the garage. Just because you put it out there doesn't mean people are listening. Just because you put a brand out doesn't mean people are seeing it. What's the secret here? How can social media be the catalyst to that? Because I sort of think there's a secret sauce here.
Agreed. First of all, Sully, I will always take your call. Just want to clear that right now.
That's because I
Second
never
of all-
call them. That's
Second
easy.
of all, I will be out there. I'm making plans to come out there.
You
so
need to
just
get
so
here.
you
We need a
know,
whole hour with you.
I'll be there.
And that's not even on the
Dan,
show. That's just for advice. We'll talk about the show later. What do we do?
I'm happy to participate. You guys are so much fun. I would say, the first thing that comes to mind is UGC, which is user-generated content. It's getting your listeners, the people who love you, your ambassadors, to talk about you on social. That's what spreads the fire quickly, and that's what you'll get you guys from 15,000 or 50,000 to 100,000 downloads in no time.
What's the one thing I hate to do?
Be on camera.
Yeah,
aside from this, talk on camera directly.
But I'll tell you, let me tell you what it works, because I see guys like Billy Joe from Green Day, who never even knew what the guy even sounded like, is now doing stuff on social. I'm seeing like rock stars, Dave Grohl, for example.
Oh yeah.
When we were kids and we bought albums, we saw what the liner notes were. We didn't know what their houses looked like. We didn't know what they had kids or anything else. Obviously, this is something. Is it because of the way people are consuming advertising and media? And again, I'm going back to these music things just because that's what I'm closest to. But when you think in terms of branding, is it because of the way we consume advertising these days that it's almost okay to pull the covers back a little bit and take that fourth wall out?
I absolutely love you just said that, Sully. Yes, 1,000%. My book is called Authentically Social for a reason. It's the era that we're in right now. The more you can be yourself behind the brand, bring your perspective, your passion to everything that you do, the more that will resonate with your audience. So be authentically social is what I always tell people.
Corey Perlman, owner of Impact Social Media Inc., also a social media keynote speaker. CoreyPerlman.com and ImpactSocialMedia.com is where you can find him.
Hey, Corey, I was doing a little deep dive on your social media too, and I saw a recent post you were talking about, which is in line with this concept of being authentic, but how businesses should be, and even rock stars or whoever, talking with their audience instead of selling at their audience, which is part of this, getting the camera and showing them your home and talking with them. So can you talk a little bit about that and how businesses can do that?
Yeah, it's people don't want to be sold, but they love to buy, is that old adage. And so feeling like we are a part of the process, a part of the experience, whether, like you just said, maybe in the real estate world, it's taking people behind the scenes, it's seeing who you are. There's a million real estate agents out there, but there's only one you. And you got to bring that to the surface. So if you're funny, be funny. If you're enthusiastic, be enthusiastic. If you're not funny, though, don't be funny. Corey,
one of the things Mike and I know you have a question real quick, but Mike and I have seen throughout the years, and I think Greg has too, just being in radio and television, is that when people get on camera, they act like they think they are seeing on camera. Hey, everybody, we'll be back. Hey, you all. Some of the things that we never have said on air, like we'll be right back. Exactly. That was said on TV in the 50s. You'd never signal a break ever because you want people listening longer. Yep. You'd never say you all because I'm driving the car. What you mean we? Why you say you all? I mean, it's just me driving in my car together. I remember Cliff Albert, our program director, one time when I was in a team show. Remember that movie with Tom Hanks and he was shipwrecked? Yeah. Was it called Shipwrecked?
Yes. Yeah. No.
Castaway. Remember the volleyball Wilson?
Yes.
And they used to sell those volleyballs with the Hannah. Yep. He would set the volleyball in the corner and say, "Talk to Wilson."
Talk to Wilson.
So how can people in brands? I'll let you ask your question. This might be the same one. How do people in brands? How do you communicate? You need to put a media thing together, because I see so many people losing me in the first 5 minutes when they're trying to sell me. Hey, sure to like and follow. I'm out.
5 seconds.
Yeah.
What am I, an idiot?
Right.
Hey, by the way, Corey, your website is https://www. Hey, Mom, it's just impactsocialmedia.com, right?
Yeah, right.
Talk about, there needs to be some resources out there, because there's a lot of wasted money and space from people thinking that they're reaching me and they're not reaching me.
I totally agree. Again, everything you said was inauthentic in terms of what they were trying to do. You got to be yourself. Let me give you one quick tip that will help people be more themselves. Capture instead of create. And what I mean by that is, instead of coming on camera and trying to do something new, capture what's already going on. So the behind the scenes, what's happening to make the sausage, so to speak. That's the stuff that you want to film. That's natural. That's easy for people to gather, and it's super organic.
Hey, Corey, there's a recent phenomenon of a Spanish model, and she removes her undergarments wherever she is, and she just leaves them there, be it a table, a supermarket,
where's this exactly?
A hospital, whatever, and she films, and she's on TikTok. And that's just what she does. She's famous for doing that. Are we getting to the point where people are just going to say, hey...
You're talking about shock. You're talking about shock and awe.
Shock and awe. I'm just going to light myself on fire, and we'll see what happens. Are we getting to that with TikTok and shock videos?
God, I hope not. But yeah, there's always the saying that if you shock and awe is the way to get viral, and that's probably sure. You could start breakdancing, and that'll get you going viral. So,
Hey, Mike, you probably might cancel your OnlyFeet account if you want. Corey Perlman is his name. Social media keynote. Man, we need you for a whole hour, buddy. Every time we get in studio, we always talk about the same thing. His website, impactsocialmedia.com, otherwise known as HTTPS.
From the Loft 100 studios in sunny and right now very, very hot Southern California, it is the Big Biz Show. Thanks for being with us today. Mike Costa, Mary Burt Godwin, our executive producer Greg Todoroff way over there, and the guy right there in the middle is Sully.
And a first-round draft pick, 2003 Green Bay Packers.
Look out.
Full ring in the house right here.
Oh, yeah. He just hangs out front. I figure, he's looking for an autograph from Mary, so I said, let him in the freaking building. Right. Let's go.
Right. I was stalking this building for weeks.
That there is a 95% correlation in business success and participation in high school and college sports, meaning that's why I make the media bucks, because I was in chess team.
There you go. There you go.
No, Nick, great to have you along, and you are now a co-founder of the Praxis Elite Sports Academy Junior Prep. That's a big long name, but really what it is, it's supporting young people in sports, right? Talk about your business for a second.
Man, we basically, it's a middle school for athletes, or people that want to be more athletic focused. We do a lot of different things there, curriculum-wise, mental toughness.
I can't hear what you're saying because of this ring. Mike, can you help?
Sorry.
Can you help?
We're trying to work on them to get one of these things. Right?
What is that?
Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in Super Bowl 40 XLV.
XLV.
Continue.
There we go. We don't know Roman numerals.
Proceed.
You don't teach that at Praxis.
Yeah, we don't teach that, right?
Awesome Packers team, and it was a really, really good, close Super Bowl. It wasn't one of those blowouts. And they absolutely earned that one.
Obviously, your life is different because of sports. Obviously, you played professional sports. Had you not stepped on a baseball field, basketball court, football field, track, whatever, when you were a kid, and just stuck to whatever life gave you without sports, what do you think life would be like for you?
Well, I mean, I like to think I'd still be okay, right? But I think that in football and all the sports that you mentioned, you learn a little bit about work ethic. You learn a little bit about adversity. Not that I needed any more lessons in that when I grew up, but it does give you opportunities to overcome and deal with challenges and compete, right? Like, we don't get a lot of that nowadays with what we're trying to teach our kids in school. It's, you know what I mean? We're teaching them not to compete. Not that I'm saying every school, but participation trophies, giving those out, right? Like, I think it's awesome to participate, but at the same time, I'm teaching these kids how to win.
Second place is the first loser, Mary.
I'm down with that. I have a competitive spirit, so I'm down with that.
Matt Chess, who is what we call our chief of the boat here in the studio, who handles everybody in studio in terms of production assistants and basically the young people, was a high school coach for I think 30 years before we hired him on. And the reason we hired him on is because you guys in high school are herding 400 kittens to a wheelbarrow every day.
Absolutely.
And with that, you start figuring out, okay, who's going to succeed, who's not going to succeed socially, educationally, intellectually. But then again, there's this idea in your head that says, you know what, I think I could turn the notch up here by forming Praxis Elite. So tell me, what was the tipping point? What made you do that?
Well, there's a lot of research on what you do when you get kids and how they turn out when they deal with that kind of adversity or when they're training. But really, if you think about what we do as parents, we're come home from work, we take our kids to go get trained, and then we take them to practice. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really get to spend time with your family.
Right.
If you get all that done while they're at school and you get them home, now you can all sit around the dinner table.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's really that element of it, right? And beyond that, like, sometimes I was taking my kid to go get trained by trainers who didn't know what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, why don't I just go ahead and build this where we could do this at school, we could get them trained, and I can head it, I can vest the trainers that we bring in, the teachers that we bring in. I know what we're looking for. We're looking for competitive advantage. We're looking for teachers who are going to teach our kids how to, compete, but also be a great teammate. I mean, we teach financial literacy to our kids.
That's
like,
amazing.
you know what I mean?
Come over to my house and teach my
we're
kids.
grinding.
Wow,
We're trying to build
What's
these
the
kids.
age range of these kids? Oh, sorry.
Did you specialize? I mean, did you benefit from any sort of specialized training, making the jump from high school to Oregon State? Or were you just like, hey, you obviously had natural ability that a lot of people didn't have to earn a scholarship, to go play in the Pac-10 and do what you did and then become a first-round draft choice in the NFL? There's something innate within you that allowed you to do it. But did you have any sort of specialized training?
I mean, I luckily had some really great coaches in high school in the area that I grew up in Fontana, California. Back then we used to call it Fontucky. There was not much out there. But we
San Bernardino County.
Yes, yes. But I had some great coaches. One of the guys who he made it to a practice squad for the Patriots, so he gave me a little bit of specialized coaching. I had an old school coach, John Tyree, who made me run track. I didn't know anything about track, but that's how I got faster, right? I ran the hurdles. He was like, son, you're running the hurdles. You're going to get faster. Quick, boom, I got faster. So coaches that cared about me, right? Like that actually spent time with me to try to make me a better player, make me a better person. And I just had a work ethic, honestly. That's really what it is. They saw that. They were like, oh, you want to work? Yeah. I got something for you to do. And that's, at the end of the day, no matter what kind of talent you have, no matter what kind of speed, height, weight, power you have, if you don't have work ethic, you don't have anything.
Nick, when you talk about a student or student athlete that goes through your program, talk about day one versus when they walk out of there, what they can expect and what you want to see growth-wise.
Every athlete is different when they come into our school. We do an assessment. We see how fast they are, see how tall they are. We do an educational assessment, just see where everybody's at, because we try to, we're a smaller school. I think our max number is 25 kids, so everyone gets kind of an individualized program built for athletics and academic, right? So I get kids that are too small, right? That they want to get on, they want to put muscle mass on. I have a nutrition guy that comes in. We monitor everything. We do that kind of stuff. I got guys that are too big. They want to get a little bit smaller. It's the same thing. So everybody's individualized what we do,
Why couldn't you scale this and take this model into schools across the country? Because it seems like the one thing that's lacking is that there seems to be a one-size-fits-all coaching mentality. I don't care if you're in musical theater, I don't care if you're on the math team, or you're on the chess or the football team. If there's a one-size-fits-all mentality, but in reality, success comes down to one-on-one. Whether it's 5 minutes a month, a little bit of one-on-one makes a difference, right?
We would all love for that to happen, right? But when we look at what our school system is, right, we don't have enough teachers right now. We don't have enough. We're not paying our teachers enough money. We don't have enough help, really, to be honest with you, right? So I think at my school, the high school that I coach at right now, they try to do a great job of relating to each kid, student, and athlete individually, and we try to do the best that we can, but we're understaffed everywhere.
But this model, it seems, if I were a parent and I had two volleyball girls that went all the way from 7 years old all the way through getting volleyball scholarships, and I remember what it was like playing in club sports and such, and they didn't have one-on-one training like that. Right. Had someone introduced me to that, and I had the resources to do it, I'd want the opportunity. What I'm saying is, wouldn't it make sense? And you're a guy that had a high school, and you definitely have girls in dance squads. You, of course, are going to have a professional surfer and you have a world-class horse rider, by the way. Right. But I mean, having those resources even introduced to us, don't you think it's a responsibility of the schools to say, hey, here's a company called Praxis Elite that can come in and we want to make this available to you just to open up the eyes. I mean, doesn't that make sense across the country?
I mean, it makes sense to me. I mean, you guys find us on praxiselite.com. We will come and help you out.
This is a television program. Listen, we are blatantly promoting this.
Yeah.
1,000%.
How do the kids apply to
they apply same way you do for it's a private school. So you apply and we either see if you fit our program or not fit our program. We haven't had a lot of non-fits, because if you're applying for this program, you know what you're signing up for. Right. You're not going there. You're coming there to work. We work. It's a grind, but it's a fun grind, man. We got 17 students coming in our school right now, and they are ready to work.
What's the day look like?
Yeah. What's a typical day?
Well, it's
push-ups, sit-ups,
move it
up, downs. No,
ready.
We get in there. I'm a firm believer and have done the research that if you work out early in the morning, the rest of your day, educational-wise, your mind is less cloudy. I was an ADD kid. You know what I mean? Your attention is better when you did some stuff already. When you done put some work in, you're in there, you're locked in, you're focused, right? You don't have those jitters anymore. So we work at 9 to about 10:15, and then it's a school session, then there's lunch, then it's another athletic session, which is more sports specific to what you do. If you're a lacrosse player, we have a lacrosse coach. If you're a football coach, we have a football coach. Basketball goes to basketball, those kind of things. So we'll get more sports specific in the afternoon work, come back, then we're into a mental program where it's either your goal setting, your leadership building, your whatever you need that we see that we think is missing in your bag. We try to fill your bag so you go to the next level.
We need to get the word out on you need to be on 100 different shows because what I'm saying is there's no reason this needs to be as you guys know, you might be watching us on TV in New York City, you're listening to us in Baghdad on American Forces Network. We're in San Diego, California. This is a one city business. It could be a scalable business. Before I let you out of here, we want to have you back first of all. What about the American Idol person? Now, the reason I call this is that every person auditioning for American Idol is convinced they should be a star, okay? And all you need is enthusiasm. That's garbage, because enthusiasm without talent is an American Idol audition. What about the athlete that wants to get there, that isn't there yet? Is there a model for that? Is there a model for the kid that is like, okay, I didn't start the last 2 years, I'm big enough, I'm strong enough, I'm missing this link here. No. Is there room for people like that?
That's what Praxis is. Whether you are a starting athlete, epic, elite athlete, or your kid. A lot of our kids came into our year not being the starter, left being the starter, left being the star player, not from talent, but from the work ethic and what they put in and did. You know what I mean? So that's what we're about.
Nick Barnett,
make sure we get our guys right. Yeah, anytime, baby.
Praxis Elite Sports Academy. Go to praxis.com. AXISElite.com. We'll put that up on the screen for you. Also, it'll be on our website. And we will tweet it out to our 100,000 social media followers. Nick, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you, bro.
Ow, damn it.
It is the Big Biz Show. Thank you so much for being along for this crazy ride from the Loft 100 Studios in sunny Southern California. Costa, Marybird Godwin, Greg Todorov, Sully. Big Biz Show. All right.
I got a question for you. Let me look this up and talk about the number of Americans who die of obstructive sleep apnea per year, Michael.
Oh, Lord.
Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that for you. I'm going to bring on Kirk Huntsman, CEO
my new hero.
of Vivos Therapeutics, of course, stock symbol VVOS. We talked to him a couple weeks ago about sleep apnea, the silent epidemic. My question for you, our question for you is, did you contact him?
No, but I will. I promise.
Oh, yeah,
I'm promising the world.
It's fine. Does he have it? Oh, you weren't here.
No, I was
Oh, my
sick.
goodness. This is what Mike sounds like when he sleeps.
No.
Yeah, it's. I got a bunch of donuts around my. It's a mess. It's a whole thing.
Kirk, will you help this man, please? Will you please help this man? Will you force a phone call with him, please, sir?
There's only so much I can do for him. Just...
Hey, very quickly, I got a couple of questions regarding your FDA clearance that happened last November. But before I get to that, for the folks that didn't catch you, since we're now in Bloomberg Financiero in Mexico, we're heading into Bloomberg EU. The people that didn't catch the show last time on some of the other BizTV affiliates, talk about what you guys do and why it's so different and earth-shattering.
Yeah. So sleep apnea, as many of you know, sleep apnea is a worldwide problem. There's over 1 billion people on this planet that have obstructive sleep apnea, and our solutions are just not very good. Most patients get CPAP. Most patients hate CPAP. They don't want CPAP, and so what our technology is the ability to remodel the human airway, to redevelop the human airway by moving some of the structures of the jaws. And what that does is it creates a nice big open airway. I brought some show and tell things for you.
Yeah, good. Oh, by the way, before you get to that, when you say CPAP, you're talking about the mask stuff that Mike currently has to wear.
The Hannibal Lecter.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's not sexy. It's not. There's nothing redeeming about a CPAP, except that it works really well. But nobody wants it. It's a hassle to lug around with you everywhere you go on vacation, business trips. It's just terrible. So I wanted to show you people ask all the time, can you just summarize what your technology does? So in my hand here, this is a human airway. I'm going to see if I can get it right.
So that's somebody's esophagus and airway next to each other.
These are the two apertures going up into the nasal passages right there.
Okay.
And this is a guy with a 59-year-old male with severe sleep apnea.
Is that because it's so narrow? Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when he lays back, this thing collapses. You can see how thin it is through here. It just collapses. This is that same patient's airway after treatment. And notice,
oh my God!
Notice the difference. So this is without any device in the mouth.
How does that work? I mean, so first of all, I remember the last time you talked. It takes about 9 months to get there. Are you wearing a CPAP device in the?
12 months.
Are you wearing a CPAP in the meantime while it's happening? And does it change the way you look? Does it change the way you operate on a daily basis? Talk about that.
Look, we can actually make Mike look better.
That's not. I don't think that's impossible. I don't think that's possible.
Oh, go on.
We're gonna actually, a lot of our patients lose weight while they're on this too, by the way. So it's really a very fascinating technology. When we sleep deeply, we oxidize the lipids in our system, and a lot of our patients lose weight. And we can go through some cases at some point, but it's really fascinating to watch. But the most important part is that the airway itself becomes larger and more patent, and you can kind of see.
Kirk, is this something that is done on a daily basis, or is it something that is worn, or something, or
what is the treatment?
Yeah, so it's an oral appliance device that's worn after dinner, in the evening, and overnight, and then over the course of time, it repositions and redevelops the jaws that constitute the airway structure and size. Yeah, there you go. And then what happens is that airway actually becomes more patent and larger over time, and it stays there. Oh, you got Dr. Melissa. Yeah, that's great.
So Mike's a broadcaster, obviously, here on this show. He does some sports broadcasting, he does some sideline broadcasting for the NFL. Will he sound different?
Oh, so we have actually treated some. He might.
By different, I mean better.
Better.
Hi, everybody.
No, we've actually treated like a very famous pop rock star from my generation, whose last name.
Which is our generation, pal, so easy.
Yeah, his last name might begin with an O. I actually have the
Osborne,
Ozzy. For him, that we have treated actually some A-lister type celebrities.
No kidding.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get back to let's talk about this, because I want to talk about November, because you guys received this FDA clearance for your technology that was unprecedented. Now, why was it unprecedented? Because everything you're talking about seems like this is something the world needs right now. This is not just an American problem. This is a worldwide problem.
No,
chiefly male.
It's a global problem, and the FDA is the regulatory body that governs oral appliances or medical devices that treat obstructive sleep apnea. So everybody who wants to treat sleep apnea has to go through an FDA clearance. And so there's about 200 oral appliances on the market, and we're the only ones to have ever received a clearance to treat severe. So we can treat mild, moderate, and severe with what I just showed you there. So this guy here.
And that's the differentiator. That's the tiebreaker, right? And that differentiates you from other.
This guy started out with severe. He started out with severe. He ended up with no sleep apnea. So what we're saying is that when you make the airway bigger and more patent, it's less prone to collapse when you lay down at night, and that ends up giving you a better experience and better open airway throughout. It's more complicated than that, but that's the essence.
Mike, just one episode of The Sopranos your wife would like to watch, where you're. With a pint of Ben & Jerry's on, props on your
Scouts honor, Kirk. I am calling you within the next 24 hours.
Hey, Kirk, we got to have you back. Let me get you in studio. Mike, you are calling them today. I don't care if we have to pay for it.
I am.
It's time. Kirk, thanks so much, buddy.
His wife is on the phone with me right now. His wife is calling me right now.
Can he come live with you, Kirk?
The fingers you have used to dial are too fat. To obtain a special dialing wand, please mash the keypad with your palm now.
Thanks, Kurt. You're calling them today.
I am.
He's like, I'm going to bed tonight, honey. Roll them dice, Mike.
Well, think about the man hours, too.
With Cheetos powder on the side. And then he said, didn't you say at the beginning of the show, gravy stains smeared across the front of your chest? Yeah, things are looking up. They got it all.